Did you know the most valuable washing machine you can own right now isn't on a showroom floor? It's sitting in someone's basement. New washers are hitting $1,500, $1,800, sometimes over $2,500. Samsung is issuing recalls. LG's AI drum is failing before the warranty expires. Front-loader door seals are growing mold that no cleaning cycle permanently eliminates. And the simple old top loader everyone told you to haul to the curb is quietly climbing in value. The game has completely flipped. The machine the industry spent years convincing you was obsolete just became the smartest appliance in your home. The great price collapse. What new washing machines actually cost you? Let's start with the number that should make every appliance buyer stop dead in their tracks. $2,499. That is the actual retail price of a Samsung Bespoke AI front loader sitting on a showroom floor right now, not a commercial laundry unit, not industrial equipment designed for a hospital or a hotel. A household washing machine, the same fundamental appliance that has existed in American homes since the 1950s, designed to push soapy water through fabric, shake it clean, and spin out the moisture. That's what $2,499 buys you in a Home Depot right now, but here's where it gets even more absurd. You'd think stepping down from the flagship would bring you somewhere closer to reason. It doesn't. The LG ThinQ AI DD, that's a direct drive front loader with built-in artificial intelligence that supposedly learns your laundry habits, comes in at $1,799. That number alone, for a washing machine, would have seemed impossible 15 years ago. Still too rich? Try the GE Profile Ultra-Fast Combo, a ventless all-in-one that promises to eliminate your dryer entirely. That's $2,199. Whirlpool, a name that for most of the last century meant practical, affordable, built for real households, is selling their smart front loader with a touchscreen panel and built-in Wi-Fi for $1,399. And Maytag, which built its entire reputation around toughness and the dependable working man's machine, has their smart washer starting at $1,199 before you add the pedestal and the matching dryer. None of this is luxury pricing aimed at a buyer who expects to pay more. These are the mainstream mid-tier options that the big box stores are steering every family toward. Walk into any major retailer today and this is what greets you: a wall of gleaming machines with price tags that feel borrowed from the electronics aisle. None of these are commercial machines. They are household appliances, and every single one costs more than many people paid for their first car. Now let's rewind. Back in the mid-1990s, a brand new top-loading washing machine, a solid Kenmore, a Whirlpool, a Maytag built to run for 25 years with minimal attention, cost somewhere between $350 and $500. Adjust that for inflation and you're looking at roughly $700 to $850 in today's money. That means the most basic new washer on the floor today costs 40 to 70% more than inflation alone would predict. And what do you actually get for that premium? A touchscreen, a Wi-Fi chip, an app that notifies your phone when the spin cycle ends. Information you could have gotten by walking 15 feet to your laundry room and opening the lid. Not a joke? That is the feature, wrapped in a $2,499 machine. Here is what nobody in the appliance industry wants to say out loud. Clothes get cleaned the same way they always have. Agitation, water, detergent, rinse, spin. That is the entire mechanical process. It has been the same process for over 100 years. The fundamental physics of cleaning fabric have not changed. What has changed is the layer of technology manufacturers have built on top of that process. Not because it cleans better, not because it makes the machine more durable, but because it justifies a price that would have been laughed off a showroom floor in 2005. That's not innovation. That's inflation dressed up in a touchscreen. Think carefully about what you're actually getting with a Samsung Bespoke AI at $2,499. You're paying for a color-coordinated front panel in curated designer finishes. You're paying for an AI load sensing system that adjusts the cycle based on fabric weight. You're paying for SmartThings integration that lets you start a load from the couch. None of that gets a shirt cleaner than a machine costing a third of the price. None of that makes the drum spin more effectively. In the plainest possible terms, it is cosmetic and digital technology stacked on top of a device that does the same thing a basic top loader did in 1998 at a fraction of the cost, and stepping down to the budget end offers no real escape. Try to buy a simple, no-features top loader from any major brand today, and you're still looking at $700, $800, sometimes pushing $900, a machine with a digital display, a plastic agitator, and a 1-year warranty that will expire well before the first repair you'll likely need. That number, adjusted backward through inflation, would have put you in one of the best reviewed, most reliable machines on the market in 1995 with money left over. The base model new washer costs more than inflation justifies, and it doesn't even come with a mechanical timer you can replace with a $12 part from the hardware store. So what does all of this mean for the old machine sitting in your laundry room, or the one tucked into a neighbor's basement, still running on the same motor it shipped with 30 years ago? It means that machine is worth considerably more than anyone has been telling you, because every dollar that evaporates off the sticker of a new washer in year one has to land somewhere, and it lands on the person who drove it home, installed it, and believed at $1,200 or $1,500 or $2,000 that this time the price matched the value. In fact, the market for clean, simple, mechanically honest old top loaders has been quietly climbing for years. The people who know machines have known it, and now, as new washer prices spiral completely out of reach, everyday buyers are starting to figure it out too. It doesn't. The gap between what they're charging and what you're actually getting isn't a pricing quirk. It is the entire business model. New washer sales are softening. Inventory is sitting longer on showroom floors. The people who upgraded 3 or 4 years ago are making service calls they didn't budget for, error codes they can't read, control boards they can't replace without a proprietary tool and a certified technician, and the machines they hauled to the curb to replace, in many cases, would have kept right on going. The price of a new washing machine has completely outrun the value of what you're actually buying. That gap between what they're charging and what you are really getting, that is exactly where this whole story starts. The reliability crisis, when new washers start letting you down. Now let's talk about something the manufacturers really don't want you thinking about when you're standing in that showroom with a credit card in your hand. New washing machines are breaking down at a rate that should terrify anyone writing a 4-figure check. Start with Samsung. In recent years, Samsung has issued recall after recall on their washing machine lines. Lid lock failures, drum imbalance issues, and control board malfunctions that left machines either unable to complete a cycle or, in some documented cases, unable to stop one. The Consumer Product Safety Commission doesn't issue washing machine recalls for minor inconveniences. They issue them when machines are failing in ways that pose real risk to real households. Compare that to other manufacturers sitting at a handful of recalls in the same period. That's not a quality control footnote. That's a systemic problem, and you're paying premium prices to be part of it. Then there's LG. The ThinQ platform, the AI-enabled, app-connected system that powers their most expensive washers, has been generating a consistent stream of consumer complaints, error codes appearing mid-cycle, drum-bearing failures on machines less than 3 years old, and a direct drive motor that, despite being marketed as an advancement over belt-driven systems, has shown a troubling tendency to fail in ways that require professional service, not a belt you can pull and replace for $15. A direct drive motor assembly that, depending on the machine, can run $400 to $600 in parts and labor, and the ThinQ app, which is supposed to simplify ownership, has its own record of connectivity failures. Machines that drop the Wi-Fi signal and need a factory reset before they'll communicate with anything again. A factory reset on your phone takes 30 seconds. A factory reset on a $1,799 washing machine in the middle of a laundry cycle is a different problem entirely. And GE's Profile Ultra-Fast Combo, the ventless all-in-one that promises to make your standalone dryer obsolete, has developed a documented pattern of condensation system failures. The condensation technology is what allows the machine to dry clothes without an external vent. It is also the first thing that fails, and when it does, it turns what should have been a single part replacement into a full system diagnostic that a standard appliance technician often cannot perform without manufacturer certification. One part fails. Two systems go down. You call for service, and then you wait. Sometimes for weeks, because certified technicians in many areas are already stretched thin by the volume of service calls these machines are generating. Whirlpool and Maytag, which are, for practical purposes, the same company selling under two different badges, have been dealing with touchscreen control board failures across multiple smart washer lines. The control board is the central nervous system of any modern washer. When it fails, the machine stops communicating entirely. You get an error code on the touchscreen, and then you discover something most buyers never thought to ask in the showroom. You cannot diagnose that code yourself. There is no manual entry that gives you a clear fix. You need a certified technician with access to the manufacturer's proprietary diagnostic software to plug into the machine and read what the board is actually telling you. That service call costs money before anyone lifts a tool. The diagnostic visit alone typically runs $100 to $150 just to show up. Then comes the repair estimate. A replacement control board for a mid-range smart washer runs $300 to $500 in parts. Add labor, and you're looking at $450 to $700 to fix a machine that by the time the board fails is often worth less than the cost of the repair itself. Here's something worth sitting with. On a machine that cost $1,199, a $500 control board replacement represents nearly half the original purchase price. The moment you sign those papers, you are also implicitly agreeing to a repair cost structure that could absorb nearly half of what you paid for a single component failure on a machine that isn't 10 years old. And if you decide the repair isn't worth it and haul the machine out before the financing is settled, you are scrapping an appliance you still owe money on. That's not bad luck. That's the warranty they don't put on the window sticker. Then there is the mold problem. This is the issue front loader manufacturers have spent years quietly acknowledging without ever fully fixing. The design requires a rubber door gasket, a thick, flexible seal that creates a watertight connection between the drum and the door. Water pools in the folds of that gasket after every single cycle. If the door stays closed between uses, and in most households it does, that pooled water creates exactly the environment that mold and mildew need. The smell settles into the drum, it transfers to clothes, and no cleaning cycle, no matter how hot, no matter how long, permanently eliminates it. You clean the gasket, the mold comes back. Samsung, LG, Whirlpool, all of them carry this problem to varying degrees on their front loader lines. It is not a brand defect, it is a design consequence. Now flip that around. A Kenmore 80 series top loader, the agitator machine that Sears sold by the millions from the late 1980s through the early 2000s, does not have a door gasket. It has a lid. You lift it, load close, close it. No seal, no pooling water, no mold. The drum vents to the air between cycles and dries itself out. And that same machine, in good running condition, that sold used for $75 or $100 15 years ago is now consistently selling for $200, $250, sometimes more. A Speed Queen commercial top loader from the same era, the kind originally built for laundromats, not living rooms, is selling used for $400 to $600 when a clean example comes up. Those prices are climbing, not dropping. because the people who know machines understand exactly what they're worth now, that the alternative costs $1,200 and ships with a mold problem built into the door. The manufacturers knew about the gasket issue. They've known for years. They redesigned seals, added drum clean cycles, built in light sensors to remind you to leave the door ajar, and none of it fixed the fundamental problem. Because the fundamental problem is the geometry of the design, not a part you can swap out. You paid for an upgrade. You got recurring mold, a control board that costs $500 to replace, and a diagnostic process that requires a certified technician before anyone can even confirm what's broken. That is not a product that failed. That is the product. The complexity trap. When your washer stops working for you, pop the lid on a modern top loader from Whirlpool or Samsung. What you see underneath, or more accurately, what you can't see, tells the whole story. Plastic panels covering every accessible surface, wiring harnesses running in directions that make no mechanical sense until you realize they weren't designed to be understood. Sensors monitoring the load, sensors monitoring the sensors, an electronic control board managing the cycle, the water temperature, the spin speed, the drum balance, and the Wi-Fi connection, all simultaneously, all through a system that communicates in error codes that require a manufacturer app or a laptop to read. The engineers who built these machines did not build them this way by accident. Every layer of complexity is a layer of dependency. You need their parts, you need their software, you need their service appointments. The machine that was supposed to save you time at home has quietly become a subscription to their entire system, except you pay for it up front and then pay for it again every time something goes wrong. Now open the cabinet on a Whirlpool Direct Drive top loader from the late 1980s or 1990s. You see the motor, you see the pump, you see the agitator coupler, a small 3-piece plastic disc that connects the motor shaft to the transmission. When that coupler wears out, which it eventually does, the machine stops agitating. No error code, no service appointment, no proprietary software required. You reach in, pull the agitator, lift out the old coupler, press in the new one. The part costs $8 at any appliance parts counter. The job takes 30 minutes if you've never done it before, and 15 once you have. That's not just a repair, that's independence. That's the difference between a machine that works for you and a machine that holds you hostage to a service department. Let's put a number on that difference. The motor coupler on a Whirlpool Direct Drive, $8. The pump on an older top loader, if it goes, around $35, available at any parts counter without a manufacturer account. Now compare that to the actuator assembly that controls the lid lock on a current model smart washer, $80 to $120, available only through certified distributors, requiring a service call to install because the error code must be cleared with proprietary software once the part is seated. Same category of failure, a mechanical component wore out, completely different universe of resolution. Now ask yourself, what's the failure rate on a 1995 Kenmore 80 series with a direct drive motor that's been properly maintained? What's the failure rate on a Maytag Dependable Care? That's the heavy-duty residential top loader Maytag built through most of the 1980s and 90s, with an agitator and a mechanical timer you can replace with a flathead screwdriver. These machines were overbuilt. They ran at a fraction of their mechanical capacity. No sensors to cascade fail, no firmware to corrupt, no Wi-Fi module to brick the cycle, just a motor, a drum, and water doing exactly what they were designed to do. That is why you still see them everywhere. 30-year-old machines running weekly loads without complaint, while machines just a few years old sit waiting on back-ordered control boards or software patches that may or may not fix the underlying problem. The touchscreen is the best single detail that reveals the whole picture. On an old machine, a Maytag Dependable Care, a GE Filter-Flo, a Speed Queen top loader, you have a timer dial, a temperature selector, and a cycle knob. Physical, mechanical, tactile. They click when you turn them. You can operate them with wet hands in the dark without reading a thing. If the timer fails, the part is $20 and you swap it in an afternoon. If the selector knob cracks, you press a replacement onto the shaft. Simple inputs, simple outputs. Nothing between you and the machine but a few gears and springs. Now look at what Whirlpool, Samsung, and LG are installing on current models. A touchscreen that runs on embedded software, a display that controls every function the machine performs. Water level, cycle type, temperature, spin speed, delay start. All accessed through menus inside menus. When it works, it is clean and responsive. When it fails, and it fails, you cannot open it. You cannot adjust it. You call the service line, get an error code, and wait for a technician with a replacement board or a firmware update that may or may not solve the actual problem. 10 years from now, when that touchscreen begins to fail and the manufacturer has moved to a new platform, the software will not be supported. The screen may still light up, but the machine beneath it, the drum, the motor, the pump, may be perfectly functional while being completely inoperable because the software that runs the interface is no longer maintained. A machine that washes clothes just as well as it did on day one, rendered useless by a digital layer that outlived its support window. That's not an edge case. That's the trajectory every major appliance brand is currently on. And there is something else these machines are doing that nobody in the industry is advertising. Smart washers with built-in Wi-Fi report cycle usage back to the manufacturer. How many loads per week, what settings you run, how hard the spin cycle pushes. In documented cases, that data has been used to evaluate warranty claims. A machine used in ways that generated heavy load data. Claim denied on the basis of usage patterns logged without the owner's knowledge. You bought the machine. You used it the way the commercial showed. The data said otherwise. That's not paranoia. That's the direction this industry is actively moving. An old machine has none of that. A Kenmore 80 series does not have a Wi-Fi chip. A Whirlpool Direct Drive does not transmit anything to anyone. A Maytag Dependable Care does not know how many loads you ran last month. There is no setup screen. There is no terms of service. It does not collect. It does not report. It just runs. These machines, the Kenmore 80 series, the Whirlpool Direct Drive, the Maytag Dependable Care, the GE Filter-Flo, the Speed Queen commercial top loader, were built with a philosophy the industry has entirely abandoned, that the person who bought the machine should be able to understand it, fix it, and keep it running without asking the manufacturer's permission. That was not a technological limitation. That was a choice, and the choice that replaced it was just as deliberate. Built to be owned, not managed, not monitored, not subscribed to. Just a machine. Yours, the final verdict. Who actually won? Here is what the appliance industry did not expect. People kept the old machines, not because they couldn't afford to upgrade, not because they didn't know there were newer options, but because somewhere in the middle of all the recalls and the repair bills and the mold complaints and the error codes, a quiet calculation started happening in households across the country. The old washer works. The repair costs $8 or $35. The new one costs $1,500 and comes with problems already designed into it. The math stopped making sense in favor of new, and people started paying attention. Appliance repair shops that spent years watching business thin out as people replaced old machines are now reporting something they haven't seen in a long time. Demand is back up, not just for repairing new machines, though that business is growing too, for servicing old ones. Finding motor couplers for Kenmore 80 series units, rebuilding transmissions on Maytag Dependable Care, top loaders that a household has run for 25 years and has every intention of running for 25 more. There are repair technicians who specialize in nothing but old top loaders, and right now they have more work than they can handle. Collectors know it, mechanics know it, and now, as new washer prices spiral and repair bills pile up, Everyday buyers are starting to figure it out too. At the same time, the right to repair movement, the push to legally require manufacturers to release parts, tools, and diagnostic information to the public has gained real legislative ground. Several states have passed or are actively debating bills that would force appliance manufacturers to provide the same documentation to independent technicians they currently lock behind proprietary access programs. The manufacturers have spent millions lobbying against these laws. That response tells you everything about the business model they are protecting. If the repair was easy and the parts were available, they couldn't charge you what they charge. The complexity isn't incidental to the product, it is the product. Now let's do the math the showroom never does for you. Take a clean, used Whirlpool Direct Drive in good working condition, the kind you find through a local listing or an estate sale, for $150 to $250. The motor coupler, $8. The pump, if it ever needs it, $35. A lid switch, $15. You could replace every mechanical wear component on that machine over a decade and spend under $200 in parts, doing each repair yourself in an afternoon. Total 10-year cost of ownership, under $450 for a machine that gets closed just as clean as anything on a showroom floor today. That's the math. Compare that to a new $1,500 smart front loader. The purchase price alone is 3 times the old machine's 10-year total. Add a diagnostic visit in year 3, $150. A control board in year 4, $500. Door gasket treatment and cleaning products monthly from the day you installed it. By year 5, you have spent over $2,200 on a machine whose useful life no one can accurately predict, because the software it depends on is 5 years closer to the end of its support window. That's not a comparison between old and new. That's a comparison between ownership and obligation. And here is what that means if you are making this decision right now. If your old top loader still runs, keeping it is not settling. It is the financially correct choice. If yours is given out and you're looking at the used market, a clean Kenmore 80 series or a working Whirlpool Direct Drive is not a compromise. It is a deliberate acquisition of something that holds its value, costs almost nothing to maintain, and cannot be bricked by a software update. The used appliance market is starting to reflect this. Prices on clean examples are moving up, not down. The window where you could find these machines for under $100 is narrowing. The people who already knew this are already buying. If you're finding this useful, hit the like button and subscribe. It helps us keep producing content like this, and we're working toward 100,000 subscribers. We appreciate every one of you. Meanwhile, the old machine the industry spent years convincing you to replace is sitting in a basement or a laundry room, doing exactly what it was designed to do, without an app, without an error code, without a service appointment, and without a bill outstanding. It does not need a firmware update to start. It does not need a Wi-Fi connection to run a cycle. It has already absorbed every dollar of depreciation it will ever absorb. What's left is stable value, real value, the kind that doesn't evaporate the moment you close the lid. Your old washer is not a project. It is not something to apologize for. It is not a sign that you haven't kept up. It is a paid-off, mechanically honest appliance that costs almost nothing to maintain and reports to no one. In a market where the alternative starts at $1,200, ships with a mold problem, carries a control board that costs $500 to replace, and transmits your usage data to a server you will never access, the old machine isn't the budget option. It is the correct option. That's not a consolation prize. That's the right call. The manufacturers played the long game. They built complexity into every product line they sold. They engineered dependency into the replacement cycle and called it innovation. They made simplicity look like a liability on purpose. They won that round. But here is what they did not count on. The machines they were trying to make obsolete are still here, still clean, still running every week on farms and basements, in apartments, and in laundry rooms across this country where someone decided that $8 was a better answer than $1,500. And as long as someone keeps the agitator moving and the motor oiled, they'll keep right on winning. The old washing machine everyone told you to haul to the curb just became the most financially intelligent appliance in your entire home. And that's not a small thing. In a market designed to extract money at every turn, at the point of sale, at the repair shop, and through every software update in between, owning something that simply works, costs almost nothing to keep running, and answers to no one is a genuinely powerful position to be in. Drop a comment below and tell me, what's your old washer that's still running? How long have you had it, and what's the last repair you made on it? I read every comment, and some of the stories people share about these machines, 30 years of weekly loads, a single $12 repair still going strong, are exactly the kind of thing that keeps this conversation worth having. And if you got something useful out of this video, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's keep these old machines running together. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.